Got it.
Yes. All right. So we're starting the second part. Thank you guys so much for being a part of our free college registration financial literacy seminar sponsored by Wallis Bank. Now we're going to go over the pillars of what financial literacy is. We're going to go over the career services, which is the vocational college training and also entrepreneurship opportunities. And then I'm going to introduce you to our bank. This is the branch manager of the Wallis Bank Dallas. We're going to introduce you. She's going to go over debits, credits, liabilities, assets, and also having a budget, your spending habits within your budget, and sticking to it. So that's what we're going to talk about. And lastly, we're going to end on making sure that you have homework of what your part is to do. And the book that she's going to be teaching out of, I'm actually going to email this to everyone. So if you haven't put your email in the chat, make sure that you do, so I can make sure to email this book if you don't already have it. So what we're going to go over, the primary objectives will be defining financial literacy, listing the alternatives to college, including entrepreneurship, knowing your options for building wealth, and then also creating a budget and sticking to it. Then we'll have a final review. So what is financial literacy? Does anybody have, well, everybody's eating, so I'm not even, let me just tell you what it is. Financial literacy is the ability to use knowledge and skills, such as an understanding of assets, liabilities, cash flow, capital gains, debt, etc., to manage financial resources effectively for a lifetime of financial stability and well-being. Essentially, financial literacy, specifically, why is it important? One of the reasons that it is important is it's a long-term financial stability for you and your family. The second reason it's important is because it's freedom to enjoy a life of debt freedom. You don't have to worry about bills. You don't have to worry about what people say, living paycheck to paycheck. All of those things are taken out when you're financially stable and you completely understand financial literacy. This is getting you closer to an early retirement. And most importantly, my favorite is the first step to entrepreneurship. Alternatives to college. The reason why this is important is because we recognize that not everyone is going to go to traditional college. There's many other ways to capture income and make money. First and foremost, when you graduate high school, I'm not telling you to, but if you decided to take a gap year, this can last as long as you need it to. This is time for you to figure out yourself what you need, what you want, and also this can be done 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, but we prefer to go straight on in. Why? Because you're already activated. When you come straight from high school, go straight into college, you're activated. The longer you gap, the further you are. You're gapping yourself from your knowledge and information from high school. So just keeping that in mind. I'm not saying do or don't. We just know that it's a thing. Traditional trade, vocational school. This is typically where you can go to the traditional junior college. You can get that 2-year degree in nursing. You can get that 2-year degree in engineering. You can get that vocational degree specifically or certification in welding, certified construction project management, HVAC, which is heating and cooling and ventilation. There's so many different programs in the vocational line where some of them you can even get certifications in as little as 6 weeks, where then you can actually start making money right away. So this is definitely something you can look into, and it can go in alignment with your entrepreneurship. That's something that you can look into as far as your career. Sometimes even being an entrepreneur, you need that extra knowledge in order to be successful in your business. So your workforce, this can last a lifetime, or it can be something you can start immediately. Meaning, if you want to be a doctor, then clearly you're going to have to go to school for a minimum of 8 years before you can even practice medicine. And you know it is practice. And then you're going to have, like, for just a regular data entry position, you're going to have on-site training. You start out on entry level and you can work your way up. There's people that have started out entry level, work their way all the way up to the CEO. It's possible and it can be done. And like I said, my most favorite, entrepreneurship. This is something that literally can be done quickly, or it can take years, but it is most profitable if you do it the right way. And that is always do what we're going to talk about in having a budget. Understanding your expenses, looking at your revenue, and making sure that you properly align. This specifically can take a considerable amount of drive and dedication, because if 9 to 5 is not your thing, then 7 to 9 is definitely not going to be your thing. Because with entrepreneurship, you write your own paycheck. So that means you're putting in the amount of time that it takes to be successful. That could be 80 hours this week. Next week, it could be 90 hours. It just depends on what you're trying to accomplish. It could be 20 hours if you work smart and not hard. Any questions on entrepreneurship? Building wealth. I don't want to step on what we're going to talk about, but this building wealth, you have the career as far as your college, you have the workforce as far as your trade school, you have your entrepreneurship. Building wealth in college, you're limited to work study, which is the work that you can do at the school, for the school, and you get like maybe 10 to 20 hours a week, very small. Your job, that's something you can do on the side. Most people work fast food, I don't suggest it. Or your side gig, which could be your entrepreneurship. You could be designing t-shirts, you could be selling clothes, different things that you could do as a side gig. Workforce and trade school, the one good thing about the workforce, you're building 401k. You can also set up your own IRA, which is an individual retirement account. You have at workforce level, you have access to stocks. And you can work your part-time job while you're in trade school as well. And so with entrepreneurship, it's a qualified plan because you're turning your own ideas into action. Nobody can tell you how to do you, be you, or create your own ideas in business, right? And so then when it comes to entrepreneurship, you have an opportunity to get business loans, business credit. You can, if your business has to do with real estate, you can have equity in your real estate, and you now create the workforce path because you can have employees. Any comments from the Zoom team?
No.
Budget, I'm gonna go to.
I think we just had something.
Okay, I'm sorry. Did you guys have a question or comment?
Just on the workforce side of things, if our job doesn't really offer a 401k, is there any other options for us? Can we still go with that entrepreneurship thing? Do we have to be self-employed for it?
I'm sorry, ask the question one more time.
If our job doesn't offer like 401k matching, is it possible to still get on like a different plan for our?
Yes, that would be the individual retirement account. That's an account that you can set up on your own. And then that way, that's money that you can, after you get paid, you can put money into that account if your job doesn't offer that. Yes, that's also something that entrepreneurs can do as well.
I know I was really late on that one. So even if you have a job, can you still do that qualified plan you were talking about?
Yes, the IRA, yes, you can do that if you have a job or if you have a business.
Oh, they're the same thing. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay, so when it comes to building wealth, the next slide, I want to stop here because I don't want to impede on the training that you're about to obtain. If you're ready. Okay, so now I want to stop there. You guys will get the book. If you guys want me to email it to you, I will. Just let me know in the chat. Everyone else, we're going to start the teaching from this book. And so it's going to go right in alignment with this slide. So I'm going to stop here and I'm going to introduce our branch manager of Wallis Bank. She's going to come up and she's going to start and she's going to teach you guys about creating a budget. No, you're going to be tested, so make sure you're
I know financial is always a little tough one is to talk about, but we try our best.
Yes. we do.
Okay, when you talk about the wealth, what come in your mind? How to build your wealth? So,
Long-term wealth.
anything else?
Retirement money.
Retirement money, anything else from you?
When I think about building wealth, I think about, having a home,
Okay. And what about the asset things?
having assets of, well, definitely, I think that having assets will help me to build my.
Very good. And anybody else?
Just think about being liquid, not say well.
What do you include in the assets? What comes in the asset? How do you say this one is my asset?
I would think, like you said, liquid savings account, bank account.
Yeah, like a saving account, your home equity.
Your car.
Yeah, your car, but car is not the, you want as asset because after a few years, your car drives, so it's like no more value, it's the same one, like you buy a 50,000 car. After a few years, it's not the same amount of the value. Correct? And then what about the liabilities?
Bills.
Yes.
That's it. The liabilities nobody likes. But you know, this has the liabilities on us, like you pay your bills, you pay your mortgages, pay your insurance things, so it's everything is paid. So whatever your asset is minus the liability, then whatever left is your net worth. Important. So that's the more important thing is that you see how much you have and how much you spend, especially when kids go to the college. After college, when they graduate, they get the paycheck and they get the credit cards here. It's very easy to spend the money. I have my daughter in college and she done the graduation and she start working. So very first month, she spent a lot of money because she has a credit card. So she was very happy and she buying the stuff. But it's coming when the bill paid, then you realize this one is very hard to manage your budget because you have a student loans to pay. Plus, if you're living individual by yourself, not with the parents, then you have to pay your orders like the rent. If you buy the car, you have to pay the car and everything, you take it out. Then you see that she said, okay, I can't afford it. Because the thing is, where you work, how much you get. So you see that budgeting is the more important. It's not that you can just stay at home and you say, okay, I'm not socializing because I have to pay that much debt on me. You have to be budget that how much you want to be spend the money for a certain social life here and how much you pay for your loans and how much you budget and everything for utilities and everything. For part of the best thing is that very beginning, you have to be learn how to save the money. So if like when you start working, I think is the start beginning is when you are in the high school or that's the phase that you can learn little by little. It's not all of a sudden we can say that you spend a lot of money and save it. But whatever is the pocket money you get, you make the habit that some kind of this pocket money you have to save it. But if you have a habit, this one in the high school, so this one keep it going on. So for after work, after college done, then you have to be mentally, you can put in your mind that 10% of your salary you put on your saving for your rainy days. Because the thing is, you look the more opportunity when you start working. You're thinking, okay, this much I have making this money is not enough for me. I have to go more. But if you're looking more, but you have to be create first the budget list. Budget is the more important. So always make sure that asset minus liability, then is your net worth. So go step by step, make the habit that. Saving account is the more important thing is saving account makes you the interest. CDs give you the interest. Like wherever you work, you check, they provide you the 401. The 401 is a company, sometimes it's a match, like if you are making whatever, you pay the 6%. So company put the 6%, it's matching your investment. So this one is a more important that whenever you start working, you have to start putting the whole money on your investment too. So that's the for future is the good whenever you want to retire. So you don't know how the in future is your social security and these things are work. And this one is not enough for your living. So it's better that you can save money. You open the saving accounts, open the CD, so you can make the little by little practices easier than you can, all of a sudden you can't able to make the like big chunk of the money you can save. Right? So whenever, if you plan ahead, like a long-term goal or the short-term goal, if you say, I want to be 5,000 or 10,000 in 6 months, so you have to figure it out how you make it. And then if you long-term is the better, early start, so it's go long-term. Good. Any questions?
Can you talk more about, for anybody who doesn't know, what a CD is?
CD is like your money fixed for the certain amount of, like, you say, you start with the 5,000, 10,000. It doesn't matter because you are a student, so you want to be like a short-term. So if you have 10,000 on the side, is that not making any interest, right? So if you go to the regular accounts, like you have 25, 50,000, you put just a saving account. So saving account give you the interest, but it's not that much. But CD rates is give you the good money that you can make more money with that. But it's same thing, like you can start with the saving, little money, when your saving account has a good money, you move that money to the CDs. So CDs, like now these days, CDs has a more interest than the past days. So it's like time is going, so everything is being changed. Like inflation, your Fed is going up, CD rates go up. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, so anything else?
Can I
Any
speak on credit,
Yes,
if I can?
absolutely. Credit literacy, that's, I was, yes.
Credit is more
Yes.
important.
This is
Credit is more important.
Yes, yes, this is what we want.
I don't, does not matter how much cash liquidity you guys have. Credit runs this country. Okay? If the credit is bad, basically they tell us we are worthless. Now, we can have $1 million in my bank, but if I don't have a credit, I can't buy a car, cash. The insurance company will pull my credit before they give me a premium, right? Your mortgage, home mortgage, you have to depend on credit. So it's very important when you're starting off to watch your credit. You're gonna get credit cards. Going to college, you have a line of credit cards lined up, but you gotta pay for it, right? How are you gonna pay for them? You don't have a job. So now you are paying minimum payments. Your interest on that card is 18, 19, 20, 30%. So you're in debt already. So your net worth, what you talked about, is zero because now you owe more money. You gotta watch your credit. Don't overspend. You can use the credit to your benefit. Charge what you can pay off immediately before the next bill comes out. The bill comes out, the interest is already added to. When you get your credit, make sure the 3 credit reporting bureaus, Experian, TransUnion, Equifax. Once a year, check your credit. See what the scores are. There can be fraudulent people that are using your credit. And comes up later on, somebody bought a car, we didn't even know you were driving the machine. Now somebody's driving Mercedes in your name because you need to check your credit. So make sure that you check your credit, don't overspend, build your credit. You know, we as bankers, You can come in with a good tax return, with good financial, but your credit score is messed up, you can't then you. So always remember to have credit and pay before the payment is due. That's how you will build up your score. I think the highest score you can go up to is 850 or 890. You can stay in the high sixes, sevens. You'll be able to buy things cheaper. Yeah. So just wanted to share that because we all make that mistake when we are young. I think I shared it with this young lady. When I first came to this country, I didn't know what credit card was. I knew what credit card was. I went to a store in Houston called Sakowitz. Went to buy one shirt. The lady says, "Can you fill out this application and we'll buy it, we give you a credit card." Right? What is that? I went and came out with 5 shirts. I went into one. Now, at the end of the month, I don't have the money to pay for it. But I started my career in debt. So now I'm trying to recover, and it takes a long time. Savings, what we talked about. Start putting money away. You are 17, 18, care about retirement. When you hit 65, 70, you don't want to continue working. So you start at a young age, you'll accumulate that wealth. When you accumulate that wealth, there is a lot of ways how you can grow your wealth. You talked about CDs, investing in savings account. Those are all secured. So there's good investment and bad investment, or manageable investment. You invest in stocks. It'll be up one day, next day it's down, you lost your money. So you have to play that. But if you put it in a secured manner and take less risk, you'll have less gains, but you'll build your wealth. Then when you have extra money, right? Okay, play money, then you can play market or play stocks or invest in different things. Because if you invest, like you said, as an entrepreneur, there's a risk. There's nothing out there. One day you make it good and you're working for yourself. Now, when you said about entrepreneurship, the best thing is that you're working on your own dreams. When you work for somebody, you're working on their dreams. So that's the good portion, but some of us have to work. Some of us don't have to work, and we have the opportunity to become business owners. And if you have credit, banks will help you borrow money because you can't have that kind of equity to start off, and they will lend you money. There are SBA programs, government credit programs. You can get all of that if you want to start your business and go from there. And any bank that you walk into will be glad to help you, but you gotta have credit. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah. To get what you never had, you have to do something you never done, right? So if you don't have a savings account, you don't have a checking account, and you need one, Wallis Bank is a great bank. You can go to open your account. Their Dallas location is on Harry Hines. I want to introduce you because this is a connection right here. We'll do that after. Same thing here. I want to introduce you to So just definitely wanted to share that. Now, the reason why we have these books is because in the back of the book, I want you to see everything they just talked about. We're giving you the tools. This is your homework. You have a My Spending Plan at the back of the book, and you also have a budget. And so in this book, you can actually, that's what we're talking about. I'm gonna go back over this is everything. I wanted you to hear it from the bank. And so everything that they just talked to you about in order to implement and take action. Anybody on this call, Zoom and in person that is interested in moving forward, the first thing we want to do, you take my entrepreneurship class, I will teach you. The first thing is to turn your idea into an action. How you do that is to start doing what we talked about. If not tonight, then tomorrow. And your book is gonna help you do that. So if you like thinking about how you spend your allowance right now, if it's nothing but $20 a week, just getting a good spending habit, that's gonna help you when you get to college. Because now you might go back and get some extra because you know it's good. But in college, it's on you. They say, you, baby. So now you have to decide, okay, do I want to get these snacks or do I want to, have extra spending money? And that's something that doing this now, learning this now, is gonna carry you. And it'll stay with you because you will know, okay, let me look at my budget for the month before I go out, and hang out with my friends. I need to look at, do I have this extra money to go hang with, right? That's something you can start working on now. Those credit cards come in great handy if you have a credit card. So that means you have insurance. Well, that's what I'm saying. So if you have a car, then you have expenses that your friends may not have. So whereas they don't have insurance and chrono and stuff, that's a gas. That's not something they have. That's something that's gonna go on your budget first. Those things like that. Then you get that credit card. Yes, you can use your credit card for gas, but now is that spending money going to you or is it going to pay for that credit card, right? So just taking everything they said and making it applicable to your life and your situation, you can use this book. A lot of, like we talk about a CD, that's called a certificate of deposit. Those definitions of all of these terms that we talked about, they are literally in the back of this philosophy. So this is the time, like in my day, we had to read encyclopedias. We didn't have Google. This is kind of something similar to that encyclopedia. It's giving you a lot of good terms that you can study for yourself, in your free time. Just to make, give yourself more knowledge when it comes to things of finances, right? So I just wanted to give you guys this opportunity to be able to tracking your daily spending. You actually have a way to do that. Setting your financial goals. It can be smart. It should be the SMART method. It should be something specific. It should be something measurable. It should be something attainable. It should be realistic. And most importantly, it should be time sensitive. Right off the dome. Yeah, why? Because studying how to have SMART goals is something that is important to me. So I logged it to memory. These things that are important to you, when you write them down, look, I'm already getting a nod, yes. When you write it down, then you automatically have more opportunity to remember it, obtain it, and use it. And that's what all of this is for. And if you're doing all of that, then you're gonna stick to it, and you can reward yourself. You negotiate your goals with yourself. Okay, like she said, do I have to have Starbucks today? Well, I do have to have today, but just once, not twice, right? And then you remember the bigger picture. When you're in college, you're gonna put off self-gratification because you're working on something. But when you graduate and you make it $50, $60, $70 an hour, now you can say, okay, I can reward myself. Yeah, okay, yeah, pay back your debt, that's right. But also now you can buy yourself that Mercedes or whatever that dream car is. And when you see these, what they call them, people under 30, the young people driving these expensive cars, no kids, living in the top floors of, the apartments or their own places, that's because they put off self-gratification for a while. They went through the process, they did what they had to do, and then when they graduated, been on the job for 6 to 8 months, now they can enjoy themselves. That's the goal of all of this, right? We'll wrap it up. Any questions on the Zoom team?
So I do kind of have something kind of tying into, my own personal life. So I am one for budgeting. I always write my stuff down. I have like a, attempt to have like a monthly budget with my mother over bills and things. However, right now, my current situation is that, I put, we'll just throw out $250 every 2 weeks of my check plus, other bills, and I get paid every 2 weeks. However, I will soon be transitioning to going from twice a month to once a month. Though there are more there is more pay, that also comes with more bills. So how would I go within that transition from what I'm doing now for my goal plan for that new goal plan that I'll have to start setting based on that new income?
That's a great question. First of all, I would look at what your budget is going to be at your new place And since you're gonna have to put a month in the hole, you want to prepare for that month. So whatever your new bills are going to be at your new place with your new expenses, you want to already save that now while you're getting paid every 2 weeks. So until you have that in a month in the savings account, then I think you need to continue to save that $250 until that $250 equals that month of bills. And if it takes a little while, I think it's gonna be worth it, because when you put that month in the hole, if you've already got that month covered, then you're saving yourself from any extra expenses, late fees, interest, all of those things. You're already covered. So when you get paid, you're gonna basically be paying back yourself versus having to go pay a bank or using credit cards. And because the banker just said, if you specifically miss that payment and you have to pay that interest, now that amount of interest that you're paying takes away all of the extra savings that you would have had if you just saved it yourself. You have something to add?
Yeah, I would say as a person that did have a job where you get paid once a month, before you get started, try to give yourself that leg up or that advance right now, to where when you do get paid once a month, you're paying the bills for that next month, not trying to pay the bills for the current month or the previous month.
Right.
Get to where when you get that check, like I said, you're paying coming bills, not present or past. That way you're always kind of ahead. You don't have to, because again, different bills are going to come on different days. So if you're able to take care of them ahead of time, you'll alleviate some of the issues.
Exactly. That's the best thing I would suggest. If you say, well, I don't have enough time to save that amount, then just save as much as you can, at least even having half. And then going into this situation, already having payment arrangements is like going into a situation already having debt and owing. But if you can go into the situation with savings, you're gonna go into the situation ahead. Does that make sense?
Yes, and that was kind of, my go forth plan. The way the situation is, the once a month, starts in September. So I'll get paid, that middle of the month. It's like the 15th. However, I'm going from that, every 2 weeks to that middle of the month. And we kind of face like a little small dilemma of, okay, well, what are you to do in that time period? Because with the new position, although I start in August, I don't get paid until September. However, I can't work that 2-week job in August because that's when I start the new position. So it was that new month time frame. However, I did have the concept of, okay, well, while I'm making that 2 weeks job, I could be putting double aside so I can be ahead at least a month. So if I do get to that stump, at least I'm covered.
Right, and can you push that September start date to October, or it has to be September?
Well, I start in August, but the pay I don't get until September.
Right. Yeah, yes, sir.
One thing, be on a comfort level zone for all of us that work or entrepreneurs. They say that we should have 6 months of our expenses in our savings account before you venture out to do anything extravagant or buy stuff. You should always have 6 months, because we could be laid off any day. We could have health issues, or a business might flop. So the safest way of how they came up with 6 months, I don't know. But they said that at least at the minimum, we should all have 6 months of savings of our expenses. So if my expenses are $5,000 a month, I should have $35,000 saved up. So I'm in a comfort. So just wanted to add that.
Hey, the banker says you should have 6 months of savings saved up. Now I don't know what your financial position is, if you can do that or not, but once you start this new job, that's definitely something that we want to take into consideration, because you're making more money. Yes, you have more debt, but the goal is you make more money than more debt, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, great. And we could definitely talk about this more offline. If you like, if you want to talk more, we can definitely talk more. You could just text me, we can talk about more. But this is definitely great questions, great scenarios, great life situations. And thank you so much for giving us an opportunity to share knowledge with you.
Thank you. I'm enjoying the knowledge.
Glad to hear it. Well, we're gonna go through our review. We went over how to prepare for college and what it can do for you. We went over the do's and don'ts of high school, how to set goals and accomplish them. We went over what is financial literacy, alternatives to college, specifically entrepreneurship, and how to use them to build wealth. We talked about creating a budget and keeping it. And I just want to thank you guys so much. We went over also how to register for college and scholarships. If there was anything that we talked about that you need to hear more about, or you would like to us to send you information on, please put it in the chat or email us directly. You have our contact information. And I just want to thank everybody so much for jumping on the Zoom. I know traffic was bad and I know everybody's coming from different directions. Does anybody else have any questions or comments they wanted to say before we end?
Do we apply for college and scholarships at the same place?
I think we went over, you're gonna apply for college through applytexas.org, where you're gonna have to select whichever school you wanna go to. If it's not Texas, then let us know. We can talk about that offline, how to apply for a school outside of Texas. And then once you know what school you wanna go to and what your major is, then we can send you scholarship information.
Yes, but essentially, specifically when it comes to applying Texas, you're not necessarily applying for scholarships through Apply Texas, but what happens, Apply Texas is in partnership with organizations that offer scholarships. So once you submit your application, you're gonna get emailed about scholarships that match your school, match your major, that match the information you put on the application. So they won't necessarily be applied for together, but they do go hand in hand. Once you submit the application, you'll get scholarship opportunities and notifications about what's offered.
Okay, and everyone, please put your email in the chat. Because we're gonna send you a feedback form, so you can just let us know how we did. We know we didn't start on time because we was waiting on people, okay? So don't get us for that. But other than that, tell us what you thought and how we can make it better. And also, you can talk about, what you thought about what our bakers had to share. And definitely they are available. We will also be sending you the flyer on their location, how to contact them, and I'll also send you the business cards. Okay, thank you guys so much for logging on. Don't forget to put that information in there so we can serve you. We did record this as well. We can take the part. And I can send you the part on entrepreneurship if anybody missed that part. And also we recorded our bakers too. So anybody else have any other questions or comments?
I do have one question, kind of stepping back towards the school thing. Tuition rebate, is that something that's supposed to be known, or is that something certain schools offer?
It depends on
The school, because certain schools will offer it and will have more information about the program and have it set up, whereas other schools are still new to it. And so it really would depend on the school. I suggest reaching out to the rebates. That would be the financial aid office or admissions office that will know more about those tuition rebates.
And that's also a corporate thing, because like example, Blue Cross Blue Shield, they have tuition reimbursement. You go to school, you pay, you submit your receipts, they will reimburse you. A lot of companies do that. So if you have companies, I also I will talk to Wallis Bank about this, but I know other banks with our workforce development program, they will actually, because you guys are typically, if you're 100% low to moderate income, which means your family gross is less than 60,000 a year, in the workforce development, if you're a part of our E3, that's Educated Power Employed program, we actually have a bank that will sponsor you while you're in college, getting a job readiness or vocational certification. They will sponsor you up to $2,500, help you with your bus passes, gas cards, but you have to submit your report card to show them, and then you also have to submit your tax return to show your income level. And as long as you meet all their pillars, you can apply for that grant. And is tuition reimbursement. So if you get grants or scholarships, you have to show that so that they can see your economic need, and then they'll reimburse you accordingly. So that's another way you can get rebates. We didn't get deep off into that, but we did talk about the corporate sponsorships and co-ops.
We have a couple questions in the chat real quick. Do you guys offer scholarships or help with scholarships?
Yes.
Yes, we're actually in the process of putting together a program for that. So right now, how our scholarships work is they come as prizes to events. So we host events like this. One event that I actually did want to mention, we have coming up this summer. Our first event is on June 15th called Monopoly Money Management. You come out and you learn about financial literacy and you put it in practice. And so we have 3 different games offered. There are cash prize scholarship money available to be won at these events. So yes, Inspiring You to Greatness does offer scholarships. They typically come in the form of events, but we do plan to hold, general scholarships. If you come to a certain number of events throughout the year, we'll offer you a scholarship depending on that number of events that you hit.
Your volunteer service hours, our volunteer of the year, when we have our graduation for our Pathway to Homeownership classes, students who are getting homes built, each one of those homes that are built will have a scholarship that will come back into the College Readiness Fund. So yes, our interns get scholarships, our participants get scholarships, and specifically those that are connected to us, especially like coming out to the event, partnering. Those are the ways that when we get ready to do a scholarship application, we're gonna send it out and say, okay, this is a scholarship. It could be $100, it could be $2,500. And then whatever the requirements are, we send it to you on your email. That's why we want to make sure you have your email. Notice there's a lot of information, but within 2 years, 3 years, you're gonna be ready for this, right?
All right, and they're asking, when do these events occur? I'm assuming we've got the events
So
page.
well, actually, Wallis Bank is sponsoring another event in Richardson on Friday. So that's another one that you can attend. It's already listed on our website under events, and it's on LinkedIn, on our LinkedIn page and Facebook.
Yeah.
And then she mentioned the June 15th, and then we have a calendar of events where it's on our website. It's iytgdevelops.org/events. Everything that we're doing for the year is already listed there. If this is not there, it will be.
With more to come.
Yes.
Everything's listed with more to
With
come.
more to come. So typically we try to have this at least once a month.
Yeah.
All right, one other question. Do we teach entrepreneurship? If so, how do we participate in that?
Yes.
I have applied for it.
We do
Interested in
teach-
taking next steps. Yes, so we do have actual workshops where we sit down, and for entrepreneurs, we go through their business plan. We iron out what you need to, do to start your business. If you're gonna be a corporation, an LLC, a sole proprietorship, we have those workshops where we take you through all the steps necessary to start your business. Same thing with college. We have the college registration workshops where we take you through. I sit down with you and I go through the application process. We apply for scholarships together. We apply for housing together. So in these workshops, we sit down. It's more of a one-on-one or a small group with the facilitator and go through, and we do complete, the hands-on process for entrepreneurship, for college readiness, and career readiness as well.
Yes, and then for the that's for the youth and also people that are wanting to start their business or start college. For those that are already existing businesses, on this Thursday, we actually are working with our B3 program, is Better Business Banking. We have an entrepreneurial cohort going with the DeSoto Chamber of Commerce, where we teach the ABCs of business and how to become bankable. So if that's something you're interested in, those classes are listed on our website as well. We teach you how to get direct capital. We introduce you to banking partners. We teach you about the accounting, what documents the bank are looking for, your tax returns, personal and business, your profit and loss, balance sheet, income statement. We go through all of that. And if you don't have accounting systems set up, we can teach you how to set those up. So yes, we do teach entrepreneurship, very thorough. And everything is listed on our website for all of the classes.
Last question. how long is the college readiness program?
So when it comes to the workshops, I don't have a set date. I would say, it's about 8 weeks because it's 1 week. Like it's a summer workshop, so it's 1 week out of every week in the summer. So every week, we're gonna start probably mid-June and go through mid-August. So I would say it's 8 weeks. Not every week is necessarily required because it is moving at your own pace. If you've already completed the application process, then we're starting the workshops at just doing scholarships and housing. Or if you already got all your scholarships, and you just want to go through what clubs, the housing. It really is, the workshops are more individually need-based. So I would say in general, we do intend to have 8 workshops once a week. And I will be sending out those email reminders once we get that list. Registration will be sent out, but the workshops are about 8 weeks long. Here are, yes. 8 weeks. Sorry. Is it?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, thank you guys so much for logging on. This is recorded. We can send it out to you if you request it. Yes, and we get all those emails with the books and the slides sent as well. All right, thank you guys so much. Everybody have a good night. You guys have a good night. Hey, you gonna take a picture too? And then I want to introduce you to Miss Ellen. We're gonna do that. Okay. Yeah, you want everybody? Yes, everybody. Let me get my manager to take a picture so we can all get it. Yeah, I'm gonna go get. Oh, okay. Oh,